Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for today's webinar with Raytec, the expert in LED lighting. I'm going to go ahead and get started now. Go to the next. Thanks, Maureen. Joining us today is Mike Jamison, CEO of Raytec. Mike has been CEO of Raytec Americas for 12 years and has 35 years in the security industry, specializing in video and lighting. From System Surveyor, we have Maureen Carlson, co-founder and VP of Growth. Maureen has been with System Surveyor pretty much since the beginning of our company in 2015. We'll jump into the presentation in just a minute, but first I want to review today's agenda and housekeeping. First, we'll meet Raytec and learn about their products. Then we'll move into an introduction of System Surveyor and a demo of how to design with System Surveyor and Raytec. Finally, we'll talk about how to get Raytec's element profiles and how you can get 10% off your System Surveyor subscription. Please note that we've had a great response to today's webinar, so everyone is placed on mute, but at any time during the session, feel free to use the Q&A icon in the Zoom webinar interface. We'll address the questions either during the webinar or at the end of the session. And we are recording this webinar, so please look for an email from me today or tomorrow with recording. Now I'll hand it over to Maureen to get started.
Thank you so much, Mindy. Can I confirm that you can hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Excellent. Well, first of all, thanks everybody for joining us. You know, this is a truly global webinar. As Mindy may have mentioned, we're in Austin, Texas at System Surveyor. We've been around for about 7-8 years. And, you know, what a delight to work with the Raytec team who are up in Ottawa, Canada. We were just talking a little bit about how the weather's going, but and I think some of you are from around the globe. So let's have a little fun today. This is going to be pretty interactive, and I think, you know, if I say one thing about if you take one thing away from the System Surveyor side, is that this is going to provide a collaborative platform to help you guys co-design. And you see that word co-designing, so that we can all get a little bit more efficiently really accurate proposals and designs to our prospects and customers. So hopefully you take away some good ideas today. So with that, I'm going to though pass it over to Mike and tell us a little bit about Raytec.
Okay, thank you. And thank you everybody for taking the time to join us today. We certainly plan to do this on time. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview of Raytec for those who may not have heard of us. So founded in 2005, Raytec is a manufacturer of lighting for the security and safety. We're headquartered in the United Kingdom, and we do all of our development and manufacturing in our own factory in Newcastle, which is Northern England. Our American headquarters is the Canadian capital city of Ottawa. It is primarily a sales and support office for all of the Americas, with a warehouse situated in New York State for next day delivery. Raytec is the largest manufacturer of security lighting in the world. We have a comprehensive range of over 600 products comprised of high voltage, low voltage, PoE, IP, IP PoE. We have a traffic and also a separate hazardous area lighting division. Next. Although today is not a webinar on illumination per se, I will go through the initial choices we need to make when designing the lighting portion of a project. For the sake of this webinar, we'll just touch on some of the choices we will make. Usually the initial decision is the type of lighting. Do we need infrared, white light, or a combination of both, which is hybrid lighting that's comprised of infrared and white light in the same lamp? A lot of security applications require covert lighting as well as longer distances. These will usually require infrared illumination. The trade-off is the camera needs to be in black and white mode. If the requirement is for color cameras or the lighting is to act as a deterrent, then white light will be the obvious choice. There are a lot of options in terms of different wavelengths of infrared and color temperatures for white light, but for today we will stick to the standard products. Once this decision is made, we can move on to the area of coverage, which is the term that we use in System Surveyor. For us, that means how far and how wide do we want the light or the lamp to illuminate. Next, please. Area of coverage for the light is determined by the area of coverage that was chosen for the camera. And as you will see when we do the live demo in a few minutes, once the area of coverage for the camera has been determined, then we simply need to make sure that our area of coverage, or for us, how far and how wide, is the same or slightly larger than that of the camera. And as you can see from the image on the screen, this is part of the reason why we have over 600 different models. in all different sizes to cover just about any combination of distance, width, infrared or white light. And we'll see in the next slide, how do we power and connect these? Next, please. So once we've chosen the lighting, whether it's going to be infrared or white light, then the last thing we do is we need to choose how we're going to power the lamp. And if we want network connectivity, all of our standard products are available in low voltage, PoE powered, or PoE powered with full IP control and diagnostics over the entire lighting network. With these choices made, now we can put together our design and system surveyor. Next.
Sorry, I had to unmute. Mike, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, great overview about the lighting. I'm sure there's so much more to talk about, but we're going to talk about the intersection of designing and make it maybe a little easier. That's a lot of different SKUs and options. So, what System Surveyor, we are, if you don't know about us, we are a software for site surveys, system design, and what we call lifecycle management. And just to, we're hosted on Amazon Cloud, so it's a B2B SaaS application. You can also access it from the App Store, not on phone, but on tablets, either Android or the iPad. A lot of people do that for site surveys, not always required here. And in this case, we're going to actually be doing a demonstration from the web application, which I think for the most part works for this particular use case. But you can sync it from field to the office. We have about 20,000 registered users, many integrators and users using it on a daily basis to make design a lot easier. We're not trying to be CAD, and we're also not trying to and to move away from trying to do this on paper floor plans. So our if you see us sort of in the center, what we're thinking about is digital collaboration across integrators, manufacturers. See that relationship here with Raytec today, and then also the end users. How can we design the best system that will deliver on the promise of these technologies? And without lighting, I think you could miss some things in video surveillance. So I don't really need to go too far into this, but it'd be remarkable to understand how many people are still trying to do this and what looks like on the right. Lots of paper floor plans, PDF markups, pictures on cell phones. It's causing a poor customer experience and possibly a problem with the sales or not a good margin project. So that's what we try to solve for, and that's what System Surveyor is, just a really easy to use mobile platform and to visualize with your customers. So we're going to do a little bit of a demo. I think that was my last slide, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, first I was going to send it back to Mike. He was going to give a little perspective before we got to the demo, I'm remembering that now, and just give you a little perspective. So as you're watching it, you kind of think about what's happening. Back to you, Mike.
Okay, thank you. So as Maureen mentioned, we're going to get into the live demo, but I just wanted to just go through how the choices are made, and just with 3 quick slides. So we're going to show you how we tried to make it as easy as possible to choose the correct Raytec illuminator to properly illuminate the camera's area of coverage. So in this example here that you see on the screen right now, we just want to choose an illuminator to illuminate the camera that's in the back of this building. And by the way, that's our factory in Newcastle. So you simply click on the camera, and then click on the coverage. And what comes up on this, you can see where I've circled it in highlighter, is that we just want to know what the angle of the camera, so what the lens is looking at and how far we're seeing. So in this case, it's pretty straightforward. It's 80 degrees is the angle, and 220 feet is the distance we want to cover. So what I typically do at this point is I make a little note of that, because then the next step we do is we're going to drag in our illuminator found under the video surveillance tab. Next. So once we drag the illuminator in, which we'll see again in a demo in a couple of minutes, we click on the attributes for the element, and then you'll see in ours, it drops down a list of a lot of our different products. There's infrared, white light, as I mentioned, hybrid. So those will all be there. So all we want to do, though, is we know that we need to cover 80 degrees. So we just view down the list that pulls out, and find something that's 80 degrees and has a minimum, in this particular case, of 220 feet. So we see that our Vario 2 I8, as you can see this highlighted down below, is 80 degrees at 230 feet. Next. So once we click on that element, it'll bring it up in red, which is the color we've chosen for our infrared designs. And we just, at that point, we just, same thing, we click on area coverage, we type in 80 by 230, which is the infrared illuminators area of coverage, and that's it. We've now gone slightly longer than the exact width of the camera. And that's it, done, and we move on to the next camera. And that's it, next.
Great. Mike, that's, I think, giving some perspective so we can kind of go into this interactive demo. So bear with me for just a minute. I'm going to escape out of that. I'm going to go over to the System Surveyor. We call it the cloud workspace. Oops, let me hit yes there. And Mike, can you confirm that you can see System Surveyor now?
Yes.
Great. Well, let me give a little bit of background. Remember how I said we were web-based? You can also do this on the iPad, but in this case, this use case makes sense for us to be on the web. And a little bit of background here, we do work with Google Maps integration. You may want to actually double check your scale and things like that, or you can put in a floor plan, a PDF. I think most of these, Mike and I were talking about our outdoor designs. So Mike, let's, we're gonna kind of show you what a little interactive consulting with each other looks like. Mike, here's the parking lot that we talked about. Talk to me about this one camera up here and what kind of illumination.
All right.
What would you like me to do?
So at this point, which is usually where we would get involved, is the integrator would put together a design with all their cameras and ask us maybe to help them with the illumination. So we would just ask you to click on the camera and then click on coverage. And that's going to show us that 30.8 degrees, and I'm actually going to write this down. So I'm going to say 31 degrees by 134 feet is what the camera, we want the camera to see. So we just want to make sure that we're slightly larger and slightly wider, or at least as wide, because going any wider and any longer is a waste of lighting and a waste of energy. But going too narrow, then it looks like you have a flashlight in the picture. So we mark that down. We're good from there. So you can just click on done.
Okay.
And then under the surveillance, which is your now, drag in an IR illuminator, and we put it right on top of the camera, because usually
I may have to adjust it just a little, and you have to hit done and kind of bring it right in there, right?
Yeah. And then
okay,
I would, for now, just do the coverage to sort of overlay your camera field of view, just to get an idea.
Sorry, guys, I'm just going to take me a second here, but it's really easy to use. I'm just using my mouse here. Fine. Is that about right?
Yeah. And
or
so
you
now,
want me to, yep, there you go.
No, that's good. So now that we're in the, so we want to say done from there. Okay. And now because we know what our angle and we know what our distance is. So click on the illuminator again, and we want to click on attributes. And if you do the drop down from element profile, now you can see there's a whole bunch of different ones on there. But to make life easier for us, because the search, which really still speed things up, because we do have a lot of units in there. So if I was going to be doing it interactive with somebody, I would say, well, type in VAR2, that's our main model number, -I, which is, and the I stands for infrared. And let's start with 2, because I think that might be all we need, because it's not a long distance. So you see the first one, sorry, the second one down, it's VAR I2-1, and it's 35 degrees. So that's wider than the 31 we need by 177 feet. So longer than the 134, but not too long. So you just click on that. And that's it, exit out of there. And now you see it's turned it that light red. So we know that that's our illuminator, and our coverage is slightly wider and longer than the camera's field of view. So it's really that simple, to be honest. The difficult thing for most of the people on here is going to be deciding where the cameras need to see, consulting with their customers. For us, then at that point, to add the illuminators is it's pretty straightforward. And I think we've done a good job at laying out those standard angles. So for us, that's 10 degrees, 35 degrees, 60 degrees, 80 degrees, and 120 degrees. We can do anywhere in between there with custom lenses, but they usually cover just about everything.
Yeah, that's great, Mike. I mean, think about what's really going on here. I mean, Raytec's already provided the catalog. We call them element profiles. Elements are just these icons, and notice that we have video surveillance, access control, and so forth. If you're a System Surveyor user and you don't do anything in fire, you do not need to show this. Just so you know, you can narrow to what you really focus on. So just in video surveillance, there's a lot of piece parts that make up a great video surveillance system. But what's been happening in the background when we did that drag and drop is we're automating a bill of materials. Is that what you wanted to do next, Mike, is show that?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to hit save one more time. Just make sure we have it. I'm going to go back to survey overview. And so there's a lot of people would put in a proposal, they would put, this actual design, which is one of the reports, not the one I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to actually show you the bill of materials. You're going to click that, and there's some different options. You can take it out in PDF or Excel. Just going to kind of keep it simple. You can put most of our plans, you can put your logo on that. And then we're going to go to what created report. And I'm going to click, I'm going to try preview just to give you the idea. Can you see there the Raytec logo at the top in the prepackaged? Yep. Okay. So, make them look nice. You're selling a high value project, and there is the bill of materials for that particular survey.
And what we do sort of in the background as well is as you choose the illuminators, we'll automatically add these power supplies, because we have depending on how powerful the illuminator is, we have a choice of different power supplies or injectors if they're PoE powered. So we'll add the wall mounts, the injectors, the power supplies to the bill of material, and you can either source them from us or source wherever you buy your other power supplies, but we put them in there so they're not forgotten and they're an option.
Yeah, I realized that I kind of skipped that part. I'll just show a quick picture of this. A lot of people say to me, accessories. At first I thought, well, maybe that's not the most important thing. Oh my goodness, you should see the response about accessories. So we'll go to attributes and accessories. And what Raytec's gone farther than some manufacturers is put the particular product and what accessories you would probably want with that, from power to the wall mount. This is where human error can occur that can really impact the accuracy of the proposal and the ultimate implementation. So glad we went back to that. And you reminded me of that. So we showed the bill of materials. And again, if let's say you sell the opportunity, you can now export it in Excel and put it into an ERP system or whatever. Some people have that more simple, some have sophisticated systems, and that's working well. Anything else you wanted to point out there, Mike, before we go back to the deck and we're going to get to a Q&A?
No, but for these, I mean, exactly what we did today is what we've sort of been doing with, as people are finding us on System Surveyor, is to just go through the first maybe design together like this on on Zoom or Teams, and just to make sure, because really the big thing for us is we want to make sure that the distance that the illuminator can do, that measurement needs to be it needs to be carefully. It's very easy to go farther than the illuminator can go. So we want to make sure that if we say it's 177 feet, that we leave that coverage to that distance. But other than that, it's as you saw, it's very, very straightforward.
Yeah, great. I think I'll mention just one thing about collaboration. Remember, most people are emailing this PDF. It's marked up. It is what it is, right? Maybe trying to use Visio or something. This is a collaboration platform. So what Mike or his team could do is invite someone in, or it can go the other way around. And you're looking at it together. You're really in a place of collaboration. Now, you could just be doing that over Zoom, but how powerful. Look what we were able to do together today. And he's driving. Whenever I train people, I ask them to drive, and I might give them some guidance. So now your dealer is learning, right? Well, how do I do illuminators with this? So that's kind of the power of this. All right, but back to the presentation. We just don't have too much more here to keep us on time. I'm going to go back into full screen. Just in terms of how you can get it, Raytec has this landing page, we'll call it, where you go to systemsurveyor.com/Raytec. You can sign up for a free account. It's actually very usable. It's free forever, but I will say that once you run into 25 icons on a survey, then you'll probably need to go into a paid plan. and we do it on a per license basis. But you get with Raytec, if you're new to us, it's 10% off the first year of the subscription when you upgrade. And you can download those Raytec element profiles to use yourself or with your team. So that's kind of helpful. But these type of relationships have been great because it really gets people communicating like that over great distances. So I'm going to go to the next slide. I'm going to pass it back to Mindy. And Mindy, just wanted to see if you are finding any questions coming in.
Yes, we do have a few questions. The first one is for Raytec. Is it possible to get a demo unit to test in our application?
Yes, absolutely. We have a demo program, and we also use manufacturers representatives across North America and Canada, and they all have demo equipment. So, and it is our preference actually, because we're happy to prove that if we do a design like this and we say, for example, the last one, 35 degrees by 177 feet, that's the minimum. So when we do that calculation, it's not based on, oh, it should look pretty good at that distance. It's done with a scientific formula of that. Well, we guarantee it at that distance. So we're very happy to send out demo units. So no problem.
Perfect. And I guess to get those, they would just contact you directly.
Yeah, really anybody at Raytec that when we answer all our phones, it's not automated. So anybody who answers the phone can help you with that.
Perfect. Okay. We have another question from System Surveyor asking, what happens if I don't have an external image of my building?
Oh yeah, let's talk about that one. We have there's a variety of ways. I mean, we're not talking about interior projects there. A lot of people have trouble getting floor plans, but there's some creative ways to do that. Take a picture of your fire escape plan. But we are fully integrated to really the Google Earth satellite. We sometimes say Google Maps. I think of the satellite really. I will say that Mike and I were talking, you can override that scale. If you're needing in lighting absolute precision, you may want to go over to Google Maps, just double check. And Mike, do you want to comment on that a lot? You've been playing around with it in the real world.
Yeah, no, we just again, it's depending on the application, we don't want people to oversell the light. So it's what I normally do on if it's a site, say for example, what we showed of our factory, is I'll go to Google Earth and use the measurement tool in Google Earth, and I'll measure the roof line, for example. Then I'll go back into System Surveyor. I'll do the set scale, and usually it's pretty much right on, but we just double check it so that we're comfortable, when we're going to give the final design, that we're sure the scale's working.
Right, but it is located. I mean, as long as you're on a network connection in System Surveyor, you'll be, the very first thing you have to do is go, well, what's my floor plan or what's my map? And you will, if you say, I think it says satellite image, you're going to actually be picking up truly Google Earth, and you're going to, you can put an address in and it's going to come in. But we do think that, measure twice, cut once. Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Not a bad idea. I'm going to go back to this slide just in case anyone needed this URL, but we'll continue with the Q&A. What else you got, Mindy?
Let's see. I have one from Dinesh. I may allow him to talk. KPI integration. I'm not sure what that. And then also, can you upload an Excel list or CSV file list to create elements? So Dinesh, I
feel like that one's maybe coming to System Surveyor, but maybe we could clarify that.
The second one is coming to System Surveyor, but I'm not sure what KPI integration.
Are we thinking API integration?
Yeah.
Just curious.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, we got you now.
Yeah, API.
Oh, API. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that.
So yes, if that's is that a Raytec question or a System Surveyor?
System Surveyor question.
Okay.
Okay, but Mike, we might have you jump in there here in a second. Dinesh, what kind of applications are you thinking about integrated? We do have an open API. What do you have in mind?
So we have, for example, we have Video Insight app, a software that I would like to get it integrated, and an access control app to get it integrated.
Oh, neat. So that you can do some monitoring and then have mapping. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, monitoring, mapping, get a list of everything that I needed, and just to import it into System Surveyor to make my life a lot easier than me just adding it manually. You could pull all the information directly out from from the software and create the element profile.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, love that idea. Yeah, we're an open API, oriented company. We published our API for the first time this past February, starting to get, all kinds of applications. That's why I had to ask that. Sometimes people are coming into proposal and estimation software or CRM, as you can imagine, lots of different. I like where you're going with that, and we can follow up with you and send the API docs. You have to be on our enterprise platform for now, but we want to work with people doing APIs and keep learning. So we try to price that the right way so that you have the API keys. More than happy to follow up. It's one of our favorite topics, really. And then in terms of, I'm going to kind of touch on that second one and then let Mike kind of talk about this from his perspective. But we also, anyone can build these element profiles. So that could be like, door packages or a video, various types of packages, or gee, not every manufacturer works with us. So some people go, well, 80% of the time we sell the same 20% of the things. So we're going to set up element profiles so that our team is kind of consistently selling things. So there's some various different ways to do that. And if we can ever help, we all have that on our help center too. It's pretty easy to do. I won't demo it right now, but I hope that helps with the question.
Yep. Yeah, can we get connected after this or sometime?
Absolutely.
Whenever you have time, you schedule a meeting and we can discuss some more about.
Sure, we would love to. Yeah, and then what's fun about these webinars, we were thinking about our total number of webinar attendees. Half of them came from the Raytec community, and half of them came from the System Surveyor community. And it's the intention of these webinars, is that we cross-pollinate here a little bit. But Mike, did you want to say something on the API front? Do you guys have anything to share on that?
Yeah, I was just going to say that yes, we have very similar. We have an open API. We have a lot of integrations already done. So most of the major CCTV VMS systems already integrated with us. So if you wanted to control the light based on, something happening on a fence line, video motion detection, really anything you want, it's probably already written if it's a larger one. But if not, again, it's an open API, and as simple as just HTTP commands can be used to control it. So same thing. It's just if anybody's interested, just let us know, and we could set you up with that.
Yeah, great question, Dinesh.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I would like to learn more about your product too, on the Raytec side.
Sure.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll certainly reach out to you when this is over.
Okay.
Yeah, super. Any other
Thank
questions,
you.
Mindy? Dinesh, thanks for jumping in there, so we made sure we understood the context of the question.
Yeah,
Great.
I appreciate that. I think we're actually right at time. So if we didn't get to your question, we can follow up with you one-on-one. And then also look for an email from me later today or tomorrow, and with a webinar link and a link to Raytec's landing page to get 10% off your System Surveyor subscription.
Yeah, Mindy, thanks so much. I'm just going to do a parting thought. I just want to say a huge thanks to Mike and Amanda, who's the director of marketing over there at Raytec. The spirit of this is what we're going for. And, we were talking the other day about, for us at System Surveyor, the promise of technology is what the integrators do to bring value, to bring, otherwise they could be commodity-like products. Well, it's the integration value that you provide on top of it. And if we can help make that better, so the promise of these security technologies really deliver. Like, what if, Mike, I'm trying to understand a little more about lighting. What if it's nighttime, an event happens and a video surveillance camera does not capture something? You don't want to find that out after the fact. This is serious business. No. And so, Mike, do you think I captured that correctly, what you were saying the other day?
Yes, definitely.
So yeah, provide value, get ahead of it. And this is exactly, and we hope we can be part of that. I just want to, again, thank you, Mike. It's been great to collaborate with, and we look forward to following up with everyone, and I hope you have a great day. Mindy, thank you for hosting the event.
Sure. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.